Hey, what's up? I'm X. And if I wasn't X,
I'd be Pirate X.
because I love the idea of sailing the high seas of the world, exploring and plundering. Luckily, RuneScape has such an idea on the horizons. If you're anything like me, you've probably had a couple hopes and dreams about what will come with such an update, so here are 5 things that I hope come with the sailing skill. I'm going to start with my favorite, but with a little bit of backstory. When I was little, I used to play a lot of RuneScape, Toontown, Habbo Hotel, and a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean Online. Now, Pirates Online was a super fun game. You ran around islands learning voodoo and sword fighting and gunfighting, but the best part of it all was the ship combat. See, you got to buy a boat. Bigger boats had more cannons and a higher capacity for crew and higher capacity for plunder, but they didn't move as fast. Now, smaller boats moved faster, but they had less combat compatibility, and it was incredible. Then, while you were out on the waters, you could be attacked by other ships, and the same goes for other pirate games like Sea of Thieves, and it made me think about PvP and sailing. You see, there is a lot of open area above the wilderness, like a ton, and at the moment, it's all water. Currently, Jagex enjoys employing this predator versus prey type content for the wilderness. That's no secret. So what if there was some kind of destination, really far north and deep into the wilderness seas that was particularly profitable? But there was no teleporting out, just a snatch and grab mission, while also navigating random encounters similar to the breaches in Deadman mode. Who knows? Take this clip here of boarding and taking down a crew. In both games, there's a crazy sense of adrenaline and urgency. Death maybe doesn't necessarily mean that you go to Lumbridge, but maybe you go down into the ship's jail, or something, and if the whole team dies, maybe your ship ends up as a loot key for the winning ship, plundering everybody's loot. Upgrading your ship to be less easily destroyed in a great segue into my next hope, custom cannon fighting. I will be referencing Pirates Online and Sea of Thieves a couple times here, because in those games you often have a small crew, someone to drive the ship, and everyone else to work on handling the sails, repairs, and cannon fire. Being on a crew and handling the ranged combat aspect of the fights is some of the most fun that I have in pirate games. Sea of Thieves and Pirates both have custom cannonballs as well, and I think that would pair really well with our range skill. We already have a way of making cannonballs after all, so why can't we have cool cannonballs like hook shots to slow down ships, fireballs to set hulls on fire, grape shots to shoot multiple cannonballs at once? We would have so much possibility in RuneScape for this, with tie-ins to smithing, firemaking, fletching, hunter, who knows. We have bolts, we have javelins and arrows, and I think that we can safely have something like this without it wildly disrupting our understanding of the game. Another thing I'd really love to see is a use for the Brine Saber. Now I know what you're thinking, that I'm kidding, but I'm not. For those of you who are unaware, the Brine Saber is a slightly better version of a rune scimitar, and it has a special attack. Now what does that special attack do? You don't know, because you've never used it. Because you can only use the special attack underwater. Can you tell me the last time that you had a fight underwater? I bet you cannot. And there's a huge opportunity for us to do a lot underwater. There's also hopefully a way for us to do away with that stupid fishbowl helmet. Let me French kiss a mermaid for infinite underwater breath, or let me take my chances going down there myself. I will be fine. It would be great to have some kind of additional to the Brine Saber, or something. Maybe make a Brine Scythe, I don't care, just let me do something with it. I think it would be really cool to have random encounters in the sea. Something not super annoying that you get no loot for, but something rare that you'd be excited to see. In RuneScape, we have a lot of drops that are really hard to get, but not any monsters that are rare to get the chance to fight, with more common drops. I think sailing would be the perfect opportunity for that. I also think that random encounters could function similarly to the breaches in the Deadman mode tournament. Something that could really aid you in a fight that you wouldn't have otherwise had the upper hand in, or maybe some random disadvantage to you. Something like a kraken appearing and attacking, or a whirlpool that makes your ship slower, or something like that. Or maybe a rock full of sexy mermaids that you and your crew could. And lastly, I really hope that we get a good amount of customization for our ships. Our game is run on capes of accomplishment, and we can easily turn those into sails. People who want their champion's max cape can finally have their champion's sails. Trouble Brewing, the game about pirates. You can finally turn your flags into sails, and that might even incentivize going there in the first place. RuneScape players only really care about their flexibility in the game. Not how well they can bend, but rather how hard they can flex their accomplishments. And if you make sailing able to encapsulate that, I think you'll be seeing a lot more 200 millers than you'd expect. Now these are just silly little things that I thought of, but talking about these kinds of things drums up attention for the update and gets people excited about it. So keep talking about it and let me know the ideas in the comments of what you would like to see out of sailing. And I do genuinely want to know, so you better comment one. And if they're really cool, we'll make a part 2 to this video. But either way, as always, I'm X, and I'll see you next time. And I won't do a pirate voice.